What you're about to hear will shake the WWE universe to its absolute core. Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, the head of the table, the man who has dominated WWE for over 1,300 days, just made a confession so raw, so vulnerable, so utterly heartbreaking that it's left millions of fans around the world in complete shock. And I'm not talking about storyline drama. I'm not talking about kayfabe. This is real. This is the man behind the character, stripped down, exposed, and revealing a truth that WWE tried to keep buried. Before we dive into this bombshell that's literally breaking the internet right now, I need you to do something for me. Drop a comment below telling me, are you Team Roman or Team Cody? Because after what you're about to discover, your answer might completely change. And smash that like button if you're ready for the most shocking revelation in WWE history. This is WrestleScope, and you're about to witness something unprecedented. Hello viewers, if you're new here, please don't forget to like and hit the subscribe button for daily updates on WWE Raw. Just days ago, in an interview that was supposed to be a routine promotional appearance, Roman Reigns did something nobody expected. The shield came down, the persona cracked, and what emerged was a confession so personal, so devastating, that even the interviewer was left speechless. Roman admitted something that will make you question everything you thought you knew about the tribal chief's legendary reign of dominance. He revealed that during the peak of his championship run, while he was destroying everyone in his path, while he was main eventing WrestleMania after WrestleMania, while the entire WWE universe was watching him cement his legacy as one of the greatest of all time, he was simultaneously fighting the darkest battle of his life. And no, I'm not talking about his well-documented battle with leukemia, though that's part of this story in ways you can't even imagine. Roman Reigns confessed that for years he's been carrying a weight that nearly destroyed him, a burden so heavy that there were nights he didn't know if he could continue. Moments where the pressure, the expectations, the sheer magnitude of being the guy almost broke him completely. But here's where it gets even more shocking. He admitted that WWE management knew. They knew he was struggling. They knew he was pushed to their absolute limit. And they kept pushing anyway. Are you starting to understand why this is so controversial? Why fans are outraged? Why this confession is trending across every social media platform right now? Hold on, because it gets worse. Much worse. Let me paint you the complete picture, because what Roman revealed goes deeper than anyone could have imagined. Picture this. It's 2020. The pandemic has shut down the world. WWE is performing in the empty performance center, and Roman Reigns makes the decision to step away from wrestling because of his compromised immune system. The company respects his decision, fans understand, everyone moves on. But what Roman just revealed changes everything we thought we knew about that period. In his confession, Roman admitted that leaving wasn't just about COVID-19. It was about something far more personal, far more devastating. During that time away, Roman was facing a family crisis that nearly destroyed him emotionally. His father, Sika Anoa'i, the legendary Wild Samoan, was dealing with serious health issues. His cousins in the business were facing their own struggles. The weight of being the head of not just the table, but the entire Anoa'i dynasty was crushing him. And here's the part that's making fans absolutely furious with WWE management. When Roman returned to WWE in August 2020 at SummerSlam, transforming into the tribal chief character that would dominate for the next 3+ years, he was already emotionally exhausted, already carrying trauma, already running on empty. WWE didn't just know this, they built a storyline around it. They weaponized his real-life family dynamics, their genuine struggles with leadership and legacy, and turned their pain into entertainment. Now, some of you might be thinking, but that's what makes great storytelling. That's what makes wrestling compelling. And you'd be right, if the performer wasn't being pushed beyond their breaking point in the process. Roman confessed that there were multiple times during his historic title reign where he approached Vince McMahon, then Triple H after he took over creative, and told them he needed a break. He needed to step back. He needed to breathe. And every single time he was convinced that he couldn't, that the company needed him, that the fans needed him, that his family's legacy depended on him carrying this burden. The tribal chief character wasn't just a gimmick, it became his prison. Here's where Roman's confession becomes absolutely heartbreaking, and I'm warning you right now, what I'm about to share is going to hit you hard. During WrestleMania 39, when Roman faced Cody Rhodes in the main event and retained his titles, extending his championship reign past 900 days, something happened backstage that nobody knew about until now. Roman broke down. not the character, the man, Joe Anoa'i. According to his confession, after that match, after kicking out of 4 crossroads, after delivering that devastating spear, after his music hit and he stood tall as the conquering champion, he went backstage, made it to his locker room, and collapsed. Not physically, emotionally. He described feeling completely hollow, empty, like he'd given everything he had and somehow it still wasn't enough. The pressure to maintain this level of excellence, to carry the entire company on his shoulders, to be the guy of WWE in an era where wrestling was more competitive than ever, it had finally consumed him. But here's what makes this story even more devastating. Nobody checked on him. Roman confessed that he sat in that locker room for over an hour, alone, having what he now recognizes as a severe anxiety attack, and not a single person from WWE management came to see if he was okay. They were already focused on the next show, the next angle, the next revenue stream. The tribal chief was supposed to be unbreakable, indestructible, a machine that could main event every premium live event, carry every storyline, and never show weakness. But Joe Anoa'i was drowning, and nobody threw him a lifeline. Now, I know some of you are probably thinking, why didn't he just quit? Why didn't he walk away if it was that bad? And that's where Roman's confession reveals something even more disturbing about the WWE system. He admitted that he felt trapped. The contract he signed, the financial obligations to his family, the pressure from his legendary lineage, the fear of being labeled difficult or unprofessional if he demanded better treatment, all of it created a cage he couldn't escape from. Roman revealed that there were times when he would be driving to the arena for a show and he'd have to pull over because he was having panic attacks. Times when he'd be in the ring performing at the highest level while simultaneously wondering how much longer he could keep up the facade. The man we all saw as invincible was internally falling apart piece by piece. But wait, there's another layer to this story that makes it even more complex and heartbreaking. Roman's confession also revealed the immense pressure he felt from his own family, the legendary Anoa'i dynasty, and this is where things get really controversial. For those who don't know, the Anoa'i family is wrestling royalty. Roman's grandfather was the legendary Peter Maivia. His father and uncle were the Wild Samoans. His cousins include The Rock, Rikishi, Yokozuna, Umaga, and countless others who've made their mark in professional wrestling. This isn't just a family legacy, it's an empire. And Roman, whether he wanted it or not, became the face of that empire in this generation. In his confession, Roman revealed that family gatherings became unbearable during his championship reign. Every conversation somehow circled back to his title, his matches, his position in the company. The pressure to honor the annoying name, to never show weakness, to always be strong, it was suffocating. He admitted that even when his leukemia returned in 2018, forcing him to relinquish the Universal Championship, he felt like he'd let his entire family down. Not because they said anything directly, but because of the unspoken expectation that an Anoa'i never quits, never backs down, never shows vulnerability. And here's the most shocking part of this revelation. Roman confessed that when he came back from his leukemia treatment and eventually became the tribal chief, he leaned into the character so heavily because it allowed him to create distance from his real emotions. The character became armor. The head of the table persona became a way to cope with the crushing pressure of being Joe Anoa'i. But armor can become a prison, and that's exactly what happened. Roman revealed that he started to lose himself in the character. He couldn't separate Roman Reigns the performer from Joe Anoa'i the person. His relationship suffered, his mental health deteriorated. He was living a life that looked perfect from the outside but was crumbling on the inside. And the most heartbreaking part, he felt like he couldn't talk to anyone about it. Not his family, who only saw the championship and the glory. Not WWE management, who only cared about ratings and revenue. Not even his closest friends in the locker room, because admitting weakness felt like betraying everything the business stands for. Roman Reigns was the most powerful man in WWE, and simultaneously the most isolated. So what changed? What made Roman Reigns finally break his silence and make this devastating confession? According to Roman, it was a conversation with his children that shattered his perspective and forced him to confront the truth. He revealed that one day his daughter asked him a simple question. "Daddy, why are you always sad?" That question, innocent and pure, cut through all the championship belts, all the main events, all the accolades and achievements. In that moment, Roman realized that his children didn't see the tribal chief. They didn't see the head of the table. They saw a father who was absent, emotionally unavailable, and clearly struggling. Roman confessed that he broke down in front of his children that day. He held them and apologized for not being present, for letting the pressure of his career overshadow his responsibilities as a father, for sacrificing his mental health at the altar of wrestling excellence. And this is what led to one of the most shocking decisions in recent WWE history, a decision that's now finally making sense in light of this confession. Roman's recent absence from WWE television, which the company has framed as part of a storyline with Cody Rhodes and the Bloodline, is actually something much more significant. According to his confession, Roman demanded a reduced schedule from WWE, not requested, demanded. He told management that he couldn't maintain the pace anymore, that he needed to be home with his family, that his mental health couldn't withstand being on the road 200 plus days a year anymore, that the championship reign, as historic as it was, had taken too much from him.
And here's where WWE's response becomes absolutely infuriating to fans. Initially, according to Roman, they resisted. They tried to convince him that he was too valuable to step back. They offered more money, they promised easier schedules that never materialized. They did everything except actually listen to what he was telling them about his mental health. It wasn't until Roman made it clear that he was willing to walk away entirely that WWE finally agreed to his terms. Now, here's why this confession is about so much more than just Roman Reigns, why it's exposing a systemic problem in WWE and professional wrestling as a whole. Roman's story isn't unique. He's just the first top-level star to publicly admit what countless other wrestlers have experienced in silence. Think about the legendary performers we've lost over the years. Think about the wrestlers who've struggled with addiction, depression, and mental health issues. Think about the careers that ended not because of injury, but because of burnout. WWE has created a system where vulnerability is perceived as weakness, where asking for help is seen as being unprofessional, where the show must always go on, regardless of the human cost. Roman's confession is shining a spotlight on this toxic culture, and fans are right